Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Lisa with Next Up is Lisa. I've never made beef short ribs, so that's what's on the menu for today. If you're interested in seeing how this comes out, stay tuned. Okay, as I told you, I have never made beef short ribs before, so I went to my cookbook, America's Test Kitchen 20th Anniversary, and I found a recipe for braised beef short ribs, and I used this as a start to what I plan to do for my short ribs today. So, I have 1 3/4 pound of short ribs that I have trimmed off some of the fat. I did leave some of it on for flavor. I have some tomato paste right here. I have 1 cup of red wine. I'm going to use, I believe it's probably about a 1/2 cup of beef broth, salt and pepper. I also have a small onion that I have sliced, 1 carrot, 3 cloves of garlic, and a sprig of rosemary. And here is my flour. I'm going to salt, pepper, flour the beef ribs, and then I am going to brown them in my Dutch oven. So I decided to season my short ribs very simply with salt and pepper, and I seasoned each side very liberally. Once I had seasoned everything, I dredged each one in flour, being careful to make sure that I had floured each side and end of the ribs. Now that each rib has been floured, I'm going to prepare to put them in the Dutch oven and fry them until golden brown on each side. One recommendation I will make is to not overcrowd the pan. So I only had a few ribs, but I did them in batches. And just to reiterate again, please be sure to brown each side of your ribs. That helps with the flavor. Here I'm removing the second batch of ribs and preparing to add the additional ingredients. The first additional ingredient I'm going to add are the onions, and I'm going to stir these while scraping the bottom of the Dutch oven to make sure that I get up all of the fond or the really good bits. That's not burnt. That is just the little good bits that need to come up. So I'm going to take my time and scrape up the bottom of the pan. Now that the onions have been cooking for a few minutes and they're translucent, I'm going to add a generous tablespoon or so of tomato paste and stir that in also. Next, I'm going to add 3 whole cloves of garlic and just stir those into the pot. Next up is the red wine. I'm going to add that and continue to scrape the bottom of the Dutch oven. I'm going to let the red wine continue to cook at a boil, and I'm going to reduce it by at least 1/3. And I'm also adding in my sprig of rosemary as well as my carrot that I cut up. Here I'm adding the entire can of beef broth and just going to continue to simmer. Now that the pot has come back up to a gentle simmer, I'm going to remove the rosemary sprig just for a second. I'm going to put all of the ribs back into the pot with the meat down. I want to ensure that all of the meat is submerged into the broth mixture. Once everything is submerged, I'm going to add the sprig of rosemary back, as well as the extra juices that had accumulated in the bowl. I'm going to put the top on it and put it in the oven. Okay, it's been about 3 hours and this is so tender. Oh my gosh. I cannot wait to eat Sunday dinner. Oh wow, look at that. It is so tender. So what I'm going to do now is I'm taking the ribs out and I'm going to pour up all the juice. And I do not have a, what is it called? Is it called a degreaser? I can't remember, but I don't have the thing that you pour into in the grease flows to the top. So what I am gonna do, actually I think I'm gonna keep these carrots, is pour it up and strain it. And then I'm going to put it in the refrigerator to see if I can get the grease to come to the top so that I can just pull it off. So I'm hoping that this will work. Okay, and then I'm going to take this and put the ribs back in this and put the top on it and just sit it in the sit it on top of the stove and turn the stove off. So I'm just going to push it all through. Make sure we get all of that juice and the gravy and the flavor. Okay, and so this is what's left of the juice. Again, I'm going to put it in the refrigerator, see if I can get this fat layer to harden up so that I can just pull it off. I hope that I'll be successful in that. Then I'll pour the juice back on top of the ribs and I'll put it back in the oven to heat up for dinner tonight. So keep your fingers crossed for me and we'll see how this goes. Here's the juice that came off of the ribs. It didn't get exactly hard, but it is enough so that I can scrape the fat off of the top. And that's what I'm going to do here. Now that I've gotten all of the fat layer off of the juice, I'm going to discard that. And I'm going to take the juice and pour it over top of the ribs. And rather than put it in the oven, I'm just going to put it on top of the stove on a low temperature. Here I'm just being extra careful to make sure that the ribs are submerged. Again, I'm going to put the top on it, put it on the stove, and just let them come to temperature. I ended up pairing my short ribs with some rice and some roasted green beans, and my Sunday dinner was superb. I hope you guys try this recipe. Let me know in the comments section if you do. I'd love to hear how you liked it. I hope you subscribe to my channel. Come back for videos in the coming weeks, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.